Today, we're going to be talking about just some updates that you guys as landlords, real estate investors need to be aware of.
So sometimes landlords are waiting, 30, 60 days, and they have no clue what actually happened, what the adjudicator has decided. So that is a problem that we are working together collectively as a group in order to say, no, like there needs to be some consistency here with the orders. We do need these orders relatively quickly. The system's been so broken for so many years, and it's nice to finally see change. We just hope the changes are actually doing something. We just hope that was different people's faces making the change. How many of you actually get a photocopy of your tenant's photo ID? That is like something where many landlords were not even doing.
What is up, YouTube? Matt McKeever here, and we're back with Kayla from Ontario Landlords Watch. Hey, Kayla, how's it going?
Hey, Matt, how are you?
I'm doing well. So today we're going to be talking about just some updates that you guys as landlords, real estate investors need to be aware of, as well as I just want to make you guys more aware. If you haven't already joined the Ontario Landlords Watch group, we really want to encourage you guys to do that. And we thought we'd just have Kayla on the channel to explain a little bit more about what they're about, what their mission statement is, and all that good stuff.
Hi, thanks so much, Matt. So everyone who is listening, thank you so much for tuning in and watching. I'm glad to be a part of this with Matt. I love their content and what they're educating so many people, so many. But Ontario Landlords Watch, we're a group of landlords. We have just about 6,300 members now. There's still some people waiting. So if you do want to come in, just make sure that you are mentioning Matt's name in order to get you in a little bit quicker, so to speak. We are a group that is there to help our landlords with the day-to-day operations of being a landlord, to help them navigate the Residential and Tenancy Act, the Landlord and Tenant Board, and help them with the tenant management. So many problems could be diverted, and if the concept of getting to give someone tips on how they would handle a certain situation. So we like to do that within our group. And most importantly, as you're coming into the group and asking questions and letting us know about your Landlord and Tenant Board hearings and what happened through those hearings, that has given us so much information and information that we are now able to take back and work solutions for and give them to the elected officials as well as the staff at the Landlord and Tenant Board. The Ontario Landlords Watch is obviously still encouraging our members to make a complaint, that if you've had a complaint with the Landlord and Tenant Board, to make that complaint with the Ontario Ombudsman. They are actively investigating the Social Justice Tribunal because of the delays that are happening. We are seeing some improvements. We do see about from 12 months waiting for a hearing. Ooh, it's still a good place to get into, guys. We're now into that 3 month, but you do have that concept that once you get your hearing, you still have approximately 30 to 60 days now that they're telling you that you have to wait for your order. So sometimes landlords are waiting, 30 to 60 days, and they have no clue what actually happened, what the adjudicator has decided. So that is a problem that we are working together collectively as a group in order to say, no, like there needs to be some consistency here with the orders. We do need these orders relatively quickly, because what's happening is that, let's say that the tenant was able to be notified from the board to say, listen, we took everything into consideration. Your N12 application, where the landlord does want to move in for his own personal use, we do want to bring that that judgment to fruition for the landlord. So you do have to leave. Your order will be in the mail, and you may receive it within 30 to 60 days, or maybe not even tell them that, but they would leave. Right now, because they don't know what's happening. That's why the tenants are like, well, I'm staying until I do know what's happening. So there is a lot of problems still happening at the Landlord and Tenant Board that obviously are avoidable, and we want to make sure that members who are coming into the group are telling us each and every step of the way of what's happening, so that we can take that back and advocate. Many are thinking that, hey, let's do a class action lawsuit. And you would think that it was amazing to do a class action lawsuit. And I'm telling you, if one was able to be done, it was either going to be done by me after speaking with lawyers throughout my time frame, or FROPO or CFAA. These are the bigger guys representing bigger landlords and bigger property management companies. They obviously would have been able to do it, but it's the concept that you're fighting the government. They're making the rules. If they were breaking a rule, it's one thing. but they make the rules. We don't like them, but that is the rule. So it's going to be a process that as landlords, we need to look at different products and different services that are out there to help us with our tenant screening, to help us with our management, and making sure that our paperwork is tip-top shape. Because I bet you right now, I love anyone who's on the video, is like, how many of you actually get a photocopy of your tenant's photo ID? You know, that is like something where many landlords were not even doing. So giving us, giving the tips and the tricks inside the groups, we're building that community up in order to be well protected by informing them with as much information as we possibly can. I do know that obviously we have a new Navigate Tribunals Ontario, which is going to give that education now as well to landlords. So if you have a situation, you click on, you know, an example of what that situation would be on the system, they will give you some resources. Same thing with tenants. And even for tenants who are struggling to pay their rent, you can go on to Navigate Tribunals and say, hey, I didn't pay my rent. It will pop up a link for local service managers. And I love that concept because there's so many problems where tenants fell into arrears and they hide away from their landlord and they just stop you know, communications whatsoever, and that usually puts the landlords in a spot, and so they start filing right away. Instead, we can now send our landlords over there, get to know the local service manager, give that information to your tenants so that they do have access to funds from government agencies for rent relief, and then we don't even have to go to the board. So it's definitely about that communication process, but we do have a new system that's coming. They are supposedly be meeting with us now in the fall to give us a walkthrough of what this portal is going to be looking like, where we can file at the landlord and tenant board through this portal, we can pay through the portal, as well as communicate with the board members through this portal. So fingers crossed, it's a good portal, guys. If not, we're gonna feel like putting ourselves in our own dimensional portal because the system's been so broken for so many years, and it's nice to finally see change. We just hope the changes are actually doing something. We just hope that was different people's faces making the change. Sometimes when you have the same people who are running that system for many years, it's hard for their heads to get into, you know, an out of the box idea, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Really appreciate you sharing that, Kayla. And I guess just chatting a little bit more about the Ontario Landlords Watch community, you know, what can people expect if they join the Facebook group and start interacting there? I think a lot of people maybe at first don't really understand why you would want to be part of a community, I guess, but I see so many people just sharing their situational problems and then having 5, 10, sometimes 40 plus people jump in and share their personal experiences, their best practices, how they'd go about approaching it.
That's where it is. You're getting multiple different people who've been in that same situation. They're giving you their expertise on what happened. You're getting legal, not really legal advice. We're just getting paralegals that can give you some tips on what to look for or connections to their services in order to get that information heard from. And you're going to be able to get yourself connected to different products and services that our landlords are recommending. So if you needed, you know, a property manager, hey guys, I'm looking for this property manager in this area, you know, what's your thought processes on them? Are they good? Are they bad? You know, it's almost becoming like that Better Business Bureau where you're able to almost give a review. We're not that technical, but it's definitely the community. And then you're getting to speak with other landlords that you're not just on Facebook with. People are jumping off of Facebook and getting on a phone call. I know I've been on many helping landlords out and even reviewing, you know, their paperwork that they've sent over to the landlord and tenant board and saying, you know, this is my letter that I wrote to them. What do you think? Should I add something? Should I remove something? And this is a concept where it's about, you know, working that advocacy effort back into, hey, we need to give the adjudicators as much information as possible. Let's get that one pager going and let's provide as much information that's valid and let's not put that emotion into it. And then through our landlord and tenant board or Ontario Landlords Watch, you're now able to just meet with many different people and influencers in the community who are there to help spread your word. Because I know many landlords like, hey, you know, this is what's happening with me right now. This is what my tenant's doing. I need to get this out. Right, so it's a great way to doing that networking for the members within Ontario Landlords Watch, because we need to know about these type of situations, and even, you know, some headlines when their tenants make the news. They get to share that information now with the community, and and that's the concept that with landlords back in 2010 we didn't have that. I had to spend time with calling people from Kijiji and saying, hey, I'm calling about your 2-bedroom unit. Well, I'm not calling to rent it. I just want to let you know. This way, you now are able to, if you know something that's happening in your municipality or in the province, you're able to release that information to us so that you can bring people with you to the fight. We have to fight for this industry, and we have to fight for it because it's not just for the concept of, landlords in itself, is that we are also taxpayers. And taxpayers, we have a concept that we are paying for government housing. There's not enough government housing. So as I sit on, one of the committees for affordable housing and homelessness, you get to see, what the problems are, work together with them on solutions that we need to be collective, but we do need to work a collaboration with all levels of government, with stakeholders, and with the tenants. And that's what my goal is with Ontario Landlords Watch, is to bring that, because we do have media, we do have in the group, and we do have elected officials in the group. So when we see, multiple comments of, hey, I'm selling my property, I'm getting out of the game, I'm tagging one of our counselors, or I'm tagging someone that is able to bring highlight to that in particular issue, and then know that there's more support to helping each and every person who is posting within the group. And I know that the fan mail that comes in saying that they learned so much, you got years and years and years of reading in this group. You just keep on scrolling. We have many photos and pictures as well.
100%. It's an amazing resource. Really encourage everyone watching this. If you're a Canadian landlord, and especially if you're an Ontario landlord, you need to join the community. Link in the video description down below. There's a lot of great information there, and it can be also a great source for referrals, whether you're looking for tradespeople or other service providers when it comes to your rental property. I guess before we wrap up this video, Kayla, any other updates, or I guess just resources you'd recommend Ontario landlords either be aware of or look for?
Well, right now for an update is that I am prepared to work a collaboration with our friends in Alberta from the Alberta landlord community, as well as landlords of Nova Scotia. I think that what we've been created in Ontario Landlords Watch and what they've created in their provinces, I think it can really work, because this is not just a housing issue for just Ontario, it's a housing issue for right across Canada. So we really want to make sure that all of our landlords are aware of different support groups that are out there to support them, and also making sure that everyone is a part of Landlord Credit Bureau .ca in order to register your tenant's monthly payment history. It is really truly changing the behavior, and it is protecting good landlords, and it's also protecting good tenants. So this is something where every landlord would love and share. So if you have any questions about that, obviously it's my forte on how rent reporting is now becoming the new norm, and it's going to be able to help us as we continue to be landlords, because it really is a great industry to be in.
Awesome. Yeah. Again, really appreciate everything that you're doing, everything that everyone in the Ontario Landlords Watch community is doing. Links, as always, in the video description down below.